Hi students, this lecture is about Introduction to Database Management System. After completing this lesson, you will be able to learn what is DBMS and why do we need it, different types of DBMS, what is RDBMS and EF cards rule overview. Okay, let's begin. Hello students, we will start this section with the introduction of DBMS. As you know already, DBMS stands for Database Management System. Before we jump into that in detail, what is a DBMS management system, why do we need it, we will just understand what is data and what is database. Data is a kind of piece of information that tells something about the entity. The entity may be a living or non-living thing. For example, if you say a person name is XYZ and the person's gender is male and the person age is like 32, 34 like that, and what is the address of that person where he is living. So these are all known as the data of a person. Okay. So the database is a kind of collection of all data organized and kept for the purpose of retrieval. Like collective student information is known as student database, collective employee information is known as employee DB, and so on. So you got to know that what is data and what is database. Now we come to that portion of DBMS. So the DBMS is a method to store that information for the purpose of retrieval of the data effectively when needed. A database management system advises how to store the information so it can be retrieved effectively. So that is what the purpose of the database management system. Okay. Consider the real-time example of banking system well before the computers are coming into picture. They managed the data through files. Customer should walk to that bank, and if he needs to withdraw the money, a customer writes a check or fill up some slips and hand it over to the counter. A teller will validate his account manually by searching through all his files, and he will find that what is his balance. If the balance is within the limit, the clerk writes a transaction in the ledger and hand it over to customer. Okay, so this is where that banking systems were handled before that computers were coming into picture. So all those transactions were held manually and they are kept in files, and they have to physically walk through that, physically have to get through those files to understand about each customers. So these are all the common scenarios well before the introduction of proper DBMS. Before the arrival of proper database management system, data maintained physically through files. Data management became more hectic as the size of the data grew exponentially. Retrieval of information is also a tedious task as it may take more hours. Also, there is a high risk of losing the data if not properly maintained or in the event of disaster or vandalism. DBMS generally provides a function like data definition, update, retrieval, and administration of data. Each DBMS collectively refers to one model which advises how the data can be stored for effective retrieval. For example, navigational DBs stores the data in one particular pattern, and RDBMS software like Oracle, DB2, MySQL stores the data in some pattern, and non-relational DBs like MongoDB, DynamoDB have their own pattern to store the data. This can be discussed in later section anyway. Now, shall we look into the timelines of the database system? After 1960s, computers started getting hit in the market, number of DBMS also emerged in 1960s. A committee, CODASIL, Committee for Data System Language, was formed to guide for developing a standard programming language that can be used for many computers. This committee created and standardized the language called COBOL. During the time of 1970s to till date, relational DBMS are in popular, which is proposed by EF Cards as part of SystemR project. IBM's DB2, Microsoft SQL Server, and Oracle software are most popular DBMS using that RDBMS model. By the time of 1980s, database system for personal desktop computer like DBase started getting more popular, and spreadsheet-like application like Lotus 123 are also widely used. In 1990s, RDBMS, an object relational database, can be considered as extension of RDBMS, in which database is considered as an object instead of data. This was started getting popular in the time of 1990s, and it is considered as an extension of that RDBMS. Non-relational databases are the present era of a data model which is widely used for data analytical purposes. They are often very fast and schemaless databases. They are not strongly typed databases and stores the data in denormalized form to reduce the table joins. So in this section we have seen introduction to DBMS, timelines and histories of DBMS. In our next section, we will see what are all the different types of DBMS